By digging through Minecraft's source code, I've uncovered pathfinding exploits that turn one of the game's most frustrating problems, moving mobs, into something you can completely control. I've read through the code of every mob, and
this is a huge problem for Donut SMP players because people move mobs all the time on there to hide their base.
Put together some of the most useful
or to bring them in their hidden base.
Exploits you can actually use in survival, ranging from forcing them to take a particular path to making monsters completely unwilling to pathfind into your base. In this video, you will learn how mobs think, which will allow you to take control of their behavior and unlock tricks most players don't even know exist. Before we start looking at individual mobs though, let's look at the algorithm that governs them all, A star.
A star.
Suppose we have a situation like this. A villager in the bottom left corner wants to reach a fletching table in the top right corner.
Bro, obviously they would walk completely diagonally, jump over this one block, and go to the fletching table, right? That would make sense.
Between them is a barrier, but it doesn't know that yet. Its AI has told it where the fletching table is, but now it must pathfind to it. Starting at the villager, it looks at all adjacent valid spaces. It's trying to pick a good path target, and it does that using this equation. From all the options presented...
Oh yeah, min fn equals gn plus hn. Dude, I learned about that last month in my online sociology class.
The algorithm...
Basically, it means it'll go to this block right here.
Looks for the node with the smallest sum of these two values. The first is the cost so far of the current node.
Right.
Traveling one block normally costs 1, and traveling a diagonal costs about 1.41.
Exactly.
This means that choices that take less distance to reach are prioritized. However, this is balanced by the second value known as the heuristic.
Yep.
In Minecraft, this is calculated as the straight line distance to the target destination from the current node.
Right, which is a whole nother equation.
Mojang actually decided to weight this heuristic by 1.5, which makes the algorithm run faster at the cost of not always finding the shortest path, though it's usually pretty close. Here's what that looks like running alongside regular A star.
Yep, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? They're gonna go to this block first. If you guys think that I don't know math, this proves that I do. Yep. See that?
Notice how weighted A star almost seems to be gunning for the target.
Yeah.
While regular A star is more meticulous, making sure it's considered all the options.
Here's the thing. Standard A star is what you want to do when you want to make something near perfect, but for it to run like at an alright speed. But weighted A star is what you want to do when you want it to pathfind as fast as possible. So it can make some mistakes sometimes. Or more mistakes than the right version, than standard A star.
Once the path is found, the mob begins moving, following the node selected by the algorithm. Yep. As we can see, the path followed here is quite close to our expected result, with slight differences being easily attributed to tie selection.
Yeah, the reason it didn't go exactly on the exact path is because of tie selection, which is basically... I'll just let him explain it if he does.
Now that we have the fundamentals down, we can talk about some things that make this algorithm abusable, and there are two major things. First, whenever a block updates near the mob's current path, that mob reruns the A star algorithm again with the same destination in mind. This function has a 1-second cooldown, which means that we can use block updates on 1-second clocks to exactly sync with the mob's pathfinding updates, and give this villager decision paralysis.
Okay.
Consequentially, this also means any transformative block updates near a large number of mobs could cause a lot more lag than just having the mobs alone. Try to use this knowledge for good rather than evil.
No, you guys are gonna crash the Donut SMP because of this. Wait, I never knew that. I mean, yeah, on Donut SMP we made it so that even you see how he said it'll lag the game a lot by updating a block near a bunch of animals because it'll update their pathfinding a lot. On Donut SMP, it doesn't work.
The second of these two,
so you don't even need to try it,
quirks is what's known as pathfinding malice. Remember earlier when I said that traveling one block costs 1 to the A star algorithm?
Right.
Well, it turns out traveling some blocks costs extra, which we can use to manipulate which path gets chosen. Here's a quick list. Honey blocks cost an extra 8 points to traverse. Powdered snow is treated as impassable, as are closed doors, which can lead to some funny moments. All fire blocks have a cost of 16 to traverse and a cost of 8 just to walk within 1 block of. However, animals and villagers override this to -1 and 16 respectively, where -1 means it's impassable. Cacti and sweetberry bushes are impassable, and walking next to them costs 8. Finally, Water and walking on blocks next to water adds a cost of 8.
Wait, what? Walking on blocks next to water, why?
Now that we know all of this, we can use it to control and predict which path a mob will take to a target destination.
+8 to walk past this water, but it would rather take the smaller pluses for these roses. Dude, someone's got to re-edit this code, man. +8 is too much for next to water. What's wrong with being next to water?
Take this example. The villager has 2 potential paths to its target. A more direct path with 2 adjacent magma blocks, or a more roundabout path with 3 honey blocks. Thanks to what we've learned, we can calculate the cost of the top path like this, which comes out to around 35.82.
The server's down. Donut SMP is down? You're lying. No, tell me. Oh my gosh. Wait, you're not even trolling. We just lost 800 players. Wait, what? Why? Why? Why did that happen? It's not because of this video that I'm watching. No way you guys tried it. No. No way.
We can do the same for the bottom path, which comes to a total of 37.
Well, I'll just let the devs handle it, bro. Nothing I can do.
This one's pretty close, but the villager will just barely choose to take the top path.
Dumb villager.
Here's another example. If you want to try and figure it out for yourself, go ahead and pause the video before I give the explanation.
Okay, obviously they're not going to choose this water path because this is +8, so many +8s. It's going to take too long. They're not going to take this one because this is even more +8s because it's like a +8, +16, +8, +16, +8, +16, +8. This one is impassable. It's a -1. This cactus and berry bush one is pretty cheap, but the cheapest one is D. It's going to go through D. And by the way, I am so confident this is right, that I'm right about this, that he's going to go through D. And you guys are going to be like, what? Yeah, it's because I learned this in my Scientology class last month.
At first, path A may be tempting due to the lack of obstacles. But remember, walking next to water has a malus of 8. If we add all of those up and then include the total distance the villager needs to travel, we can do the math to find the total cost of this path to be 69.82. We can do the same thing for the second path, remembering that water also has a malus of 8.
Right.
Keep in mind that a single malus can't be double counted. These blocks aren't doubly next to water, but a block could have multiple different maluses.
Right.
The total for this path is 65.82. The middle path can be ignored in this case, because as we know, fire is impassable to villagers.
Right, yep, I said that.
The fourth path has far fewer malice blocks, however, this magma block is hitting the path in 3 places, and this honey block gets added on top of the malice from the magma block, bringing the total up to 70.28.
Wait, what are the letters? A, B, C, D? D is the last one, right? If D was the last one, that's the one I was talking about, D.
For the last path, the cacti and sweetberry bushes all apply a malus of 8, making this path unviable to the villager. The total cost is 90.82. Now that we've calculated all...
And then, so... Okay, it's gonna go to this one.
...of the costs, we can see that the lowest one, path B, is the one selected by the villager. Interestingly enough, if we do the same test on a zombie, the middle path is chosen since zombies use the base malice for fire.
Oh, that's weird. Why?
Now that you understand how mobs pathfind to a target, let's look at the different ways you can give them a target in the first place. All hostile mobs are great for this because you can use yourself or any other player as the pathfinding target. This lets you hilariously abuse their pathfinding. I think my favorite example of this is with the creaking. You can make these mobs take highly indirect paths by
Why do they not like a block next to water?
simply putting some water next to the direct ones. Thanks to this, we can make base entrances, like this one, that monsters refuse to pathfind into.
Oh, is there water on the sides? Is that why?
Thanks to the water here, the zombies always prefer to take
that's
the trap.
actually that's very cool information that if you remember for now, you can always use that whenever you play Minecraft. So mobs, you know, maybe it has to do with farms. Maybe the Mojang doesn't want mobs walking in a bunch of farms or something. I don't know, but surrounding your base in water and leaving like one path. Dude, this is very cool.
Side path. In the same way, wardens will pathfind to any vibration they hear.
Okay.
But they can also pathfind directly to a player if they're angry enough. Making noise around a warden increases its anger level until it switches from targeting disturbances to targeting players directly. While food and breeding can lead animals, I think the easiest method is setting them on fire. They'll run straight to water. You could also manipulate their wandering to get similar results, if you've seen my last video. Finally, jobless villagers search for unclaimed workstations during the day and will path to them from up to 48 blocks away. Employed villagers also return to their workstations at various times throughout the day. Since the occupation status of the workstation is stored within the block itself, we can make any number of villagers congregate to an area by rapidly moving the workstation, which resets its status but not the villager's current path. Now that you know all of this, you're in control. Use it to build smarter farms, traps, or even just mess with mobs for fun.
Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I have a feeling not many people learned much from this, including me. The only thing I learned, really, is, I guess, kind of how the pathfinding works, but am I ever gonna use it?
Now, let's see what you've learned. Here's one last
another test, yes!
pathfinding puzzle. Drop your answer and explanation in the comments.